Hey, by Tom's here, and today we're getting a semi dump trailer load of logs. So always something new happening on the farm. Today got a big order I got to go ahead and do. So we're going to dump these out. I'm going to help them get these logs spread out, and we'll go from there. This is the first of a couple loads. So yeehaw! All right. This is he says this is his first time dumping logs, so we're going to see how this all goes. Hoping they come right out. We'll see. No movement yet. Yep, they're starting to go. Only thing, we got one knot that might be sticking right there. We'll see what it does. Yeah, I'm gonna have to help him here with a little chainsaw action. Stand by. Well, after some persuasion with the tractor, we got the dump trailer successfully unloaded. Very fun experience. I learned a whole lot. Great people. We've been working with this gentleman some more, but yeah, I'm looking forward to getting some more logs and going from there. We'll see you around. All right, so we had the large truck leave here, and what my dad is now doing is, where the truck unloaded way over there behind the four-wheeler and stuff like that, he's grabbing the 26 logs that were dropped off and moving them over to here. Now, if you see this log right here, this big behemoth that I've been not dreading cutting, but not really looking forward to cutting. This is a 32 by 30 on one side. I don't remember, it's like 26 or 28 on this side right here. 16.5 foot long. I gotta cut those into 2x8s for a gentleman down the road. Hopefully we'll get that knocked out today. My dad, while I'm cutting on the sawmill for cutting up this oak log right here for his friend. I got this oak log and I think a few cedar logs to do today. Ooh, that boy right there, whew, that right there is about almost a 3,000 pound log in itself. That's red oak, squared up to, well, kind of squared up to 23 by 24 or something like that. But again, he's loading these logs up there. We're doing two things at once. I love it when my dad comes in town, because then he actually can help me a whole lot. If you see in the distance also, all those boards right there, there's 30 cherry boards I cut up for a customer. You see those right there, those are 1x8s and 1x12s for another customer. So very, very busy here on the woodlot, trying to clear out some of the insanity. This log, she's been here for a while. I keep on moving this stupid log around and it's getting worse and worse. That's a white oak log. One of these days I'm gonna cut her. I keep on moving her here close to the mill thinking I'm gonna cut her, but we'll see. But yeah, so log yards, I had it kind of organized and it's just out of control. I mean, this is, you know, part of having a sawmill. Oh, and I haven't done videos in this in a while. Gotta do a video. The windows are in, and we've made some great progress on the inside, put metal on the inside too. So yeah, today I gotta finish up this oak. Maybe I'll throw in a little time lapse of cutting up some oak and everything. And then, yeah, a lot of stuff going on. See ya. Well, folks, the saw did great. He cut up, let's see, I was going to talk about this blade here. On this blade right here, this is a blade that's been sharpened many times by Mr. Robert. It's got an 8-degree set on everything. This blade, before I changed it, this is referring back to a viewer's comments. The blade lasted through 3 pine logs where I cut 45 1x8 by 10 foot boards. Then I cut up that oak log and then I cut up the cedar log. So the question he had asked is, how long does a blade last? Well, typically a blade for me will last anywhere between 400 to, say, on the high end, 600 board foot. And it all depends on species of wood I'm cutting, how clean the logs are, and if there's a lot of pitch or knots or anything that's gonna, build up sap on the blades. So this blade right here, once it was cutting through the pine, let's see if I can show this on here. There's it's really hard to see this. There was a little bit of residue, like kind of like that right there. See that? There's a little bit of, that's pitch built up on the blade right there. And in fact, that's on there. You can hear it. So there's a little bit of pitch built up on the blade. So what I like to do to get the most out of a blade, so I'll cut the pine, get it to cut through and everything. And then a good way to clean the blade, if you start to get a whole lot of buildup on there, rotate your next log out to something that doesn't have a lot of pitch, such as oak in the case that I did. So I cut 3 pine logs. Towards the end, I had a decent amount of buildup. Then I started running through the oak. The oak was good because it cleaned my blade. However, the oak is a harder wood, so it starts to take the set out a little bit faster out of your blade. Once you start taking the set out of the blade, then your saw has to work harder to pull that blade through the wood. But once I finished up with the oak cut, my last cuts were getting kind of slow. Then I'm like, I still want to maximize some life that was left in this blade. What else can I cut? So then I went to, what is some of my softest stuff that I have, which would be cedar. And then through cedar, she cut through that just fine, because cedar is pretty soft. There's a stack right there, but cedar is a good soft wood to finish up a blade. So this blade right here, I'm going to say, this blade probably cut about 550 or so board foot. And then this blade has probably been sharpened a number of times too. If you look, the tooth height is not as high as what a normal one would be, because it's been shaved down over 4 sharpenings or so. I don't actually have a really good way to tell if this has been sharpened a lot other than just looking at the blade itself. And you can see I've got some pitting and stuff like that. And I can see where Mr. Robert, when he runs his little cleaning wheel on there. The biggest things I look for though, once I know a blade's getting towards the end of his life, you start looking for cracks that start, these hairline fractures that will start to occur in the gullet. And I'm not, in the gullet being this lower section of the blade right here. So the blade actually does the cutting. So you have an up tooth, a down tooth, and a straight tooth. The up tooth and down tooth, those are ones actually cutting. That straight tooth will pull it out, and the gullet is the section that essentially holds the sawdust to be pulled out. But I am not seeing really any hairline fractures in here. So this blade appears to be still usable, and you can see it is a Timber King Ultramax. And an Ultramax blade, what I like about them from Timber King is the tooth all the way down to just a little bit below the gullet is a hardened section. But if you start running through a lot of really sappy wood, and if it starts building up a lot of heat on this blade because all that pitch is built up on your blade, you're going to take the hardness essentially out of your blade. What a hardened tooth does like that, once it's heat treated and everything, it allows it to keep that sharp edge longer than a non-heat treated blade. So hope this is informational and everything. And all I did is just cut up a few logs just today, and I've got the big pine log right there I've got to cut up, as well as I've got to cut up some more 1x8 boards. I've got 15 more 1x8 boards to cut up for a customer, so I'll go ahead and run a new blade and start with that. All right, we'll see you around. Thanks.